So I am here with Captain Brian Beardmen with Guam EPA, along with Mr. Nick Lee, regarding the non-portable water investigation going around places that is selling possible drinking water. Half a day, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
Half a day. Good.
Okay, so what is the current contents of your investigation so far? What are the results of those assessments?
Sure. Well, we just Guam EPA learned about 1 day ago that certain facilities are receiving water delivered by trucks that are not rated for potable water delivery. These are non-potable trucks. In many cases, they're trucks that are operated by construction companies prior to the storm for purposes such as dust control. So there is no control over the quality of these trucks and what materials may have been inside these trucks before drinking water was delivered. What we've heard so far is that these trucks have delivered water to certain apartment buildings, even some hotels, and perhaps some restaurants as well. So what we have right now is we have two teams, two strike teams that are out in the field right now with Guam EPA staff and federal EPA staff. They're going to be visiting the companies that operate these trucks to find out where they've delivered water to take samples from these trucks so that we can get at least some direct confirmation of water quality, and to instruct these trucking companies that whoever they deliver water to they must provide the do not drink notice that went out by social media last night, which was a mistake. That was supposed to go directly to these individuals, not to social media. So that's what they're out there trying to do right now. What we want people to know is if they're in a facility that received water by truck delivery, right now in Guam there are no approved potable water delivery trucks except for those operated by GWA to hand out water at their what they call their flex tanks. Those are approved, but every other truck that's been delivering water to apartments, hotels, restaurants are not approved for potable water delivery. So we want to make sure the people that are in those facilities do not use that water to drink, because even boiling that water will not necessarily make it safe, because we don't know what was in that water. If it's a chemical contaminant of some sort, boiling will not get rid of that. Boiling is meant for microbiological contamination only. The water that you receive from GWA right now is safe to drink after boiling. GWA has a precautionary boil water notice out for all their water systems. The water, if you receive water from a GWA tanker truck itself at one of their distribution sites, that water is also safe to drink with boiling. But this other water that's being received right now is not safe, because we do not know what was in those trucks before the storm.
Right. And I know that you're still, I guess, early within your investigation. We do have other stores, like other mom and pop stores and other grocery stores that do sell drinking portable water. Are you guys getting reports that they're possibly being delivered to those areas as well?
We have not received any reports yet that those stores that provide the drinking water vending machines, as we call it, which are regulated by the Department of Public Health and Social Services, by the way. So there's a crossover there between Guam EPA and DPHSS, and we are cooperating with DPHSS. We've not received any reports yet that water was delivered to those facilities. Those facilities, as far as we know, are only receiving GWA water. Public Health can answer questions more specifically about those, but those systems provide additional treatment, which mitigates the risk to some extent with the GWA boil water notice. But we have not heard, just to be clear, we have not heard yet of any truck deliveries to any of those facilities that sell bottled water.
So until then, what can the community be on the lookout for in terms of the water that they drink, and what are if there's some telltale signs about the possible contamination of the water?
Yeah, it's very difficult to tell. I think that's why we've reached out to the public that any owner of any facility that has purchased water from a water vending truck or a water hauling truck must notify all of their residents and all of their customers that they did so, and to not drink that water. Because we do not know at this time how many places have received this water. We're trying to find that out from the truck delivery companies today, and we'll get a better grip on this. But until then, it's going to be up to the owners of those businesses that purchased that water and had it delivered to notify their own residents, their own customers, their own patrons that that water should not be consumed. That water can be used for flushing toilets, non-potable uses such as laundry, but not for anything that would involve consumption.
Right. So possibly, to be on the safe side, maybe regular bottled drinking water would be best?
Yeah, for now, if you're in one of those facilities that receive that water that was delivered by a non-potable truck, any type of water used for human consumption, whether that's drinking, whether that's cooking, whether that's brushing your teeth, you should be using bottled water for that for now. Guam EPA will be establishing some criteria. We may be able to approve some of these trucks to deliver water. That water, though, if it comes from GWA, will still be subject to a boil water notice, precautionary boil water notice, but at least it could be boiled and used. But for this, at this time, though, until we find out more about this particular situation, if you are in a building that received water delivered by a non-potable truck, that water should not be consumed.
Okay, thank you so much, Captain Brennan. And Mr. Lee, is there anything else you want to add with Captain Bearden with the notices with the community?
Captain Bearden covered everything that concerned the agency in terms of human health and public safety. The notice was provided for public view so that when our teams went out to distribute the orders, everybody was apprised of what the notice would look like. So we also want to reiterate that the investigation is in its early stages, and so the things that we talked about could change in the future. So if there's any updates, we'll be sure to provide it to the public.
And just to be real clear, that the water, if you're getting water just from the GWA piping system, that water is still safe to drink with boiling, right? There's a precautionary boil water notice that's still in effect, but that water can still be consumed after it's been properly treated.
Well, thank you so much, Captain Bearden and Mr. Lee.
All right, thank you.